A's for Apricot, Chapter 20, Fame. Apricot had no idea that he had become a celebrity until the next morning, when the local paper dropped through the letterbox. Mary was preparing breakfast and Alf was sitting in his armchair watching mindless TV, when he heard the rattle of the letterbox and he decided to investigate. There was a few letters on the floor, but none of them were addressed to him, surprisingly. So he pulled at the fat newspapers like a Christmas cracker until it was finally free from the vice-like letterbox. He was just about to turn it over to the sports section when a strange headline on the front page caught his eye: "The Queen's Day Out." He looked at the familiar face, but there was another face peering out at him, a furry one. It was Apricot's. Alf gasped. He never noticed any photographers pointing their way. And why should they, he thought. After all, who cares about a silly guinea pig anyway? He scoffed. Unknowns to him, plenty of people did. "Anything in the paper, dear," said Mary, bringing Alf's tea and a plate of toast smothered in strawberry jam. "The usual," said Alf, "just boring stuff," he said, and he quickly turned the paper over. The last thing that he wanted was for her to see it. Mary was too preoccupied with her jobs to give this a second thought. Alf munched on his toast and he pondered on what this new news meant, and it didn't take him long to deduce that it meant the one thing in the world which he loved the most in the world: money. More money for drink, more money for fags, and more money to invest in the betting shop, he thought, not very wisely. He knew that he needed to stay in Mary's good books, and luckily Mary was still a mystery to the press and the general public. Alf relaxed a little. After all, he reasoned, there's thousands of guinea pigs in the world, maybe millions, so they will never find Apricot, he thought confidently. The ball was in Alf's court, and he had to be careful. This was an opportunity, and one that he couldn't squander. He had to pretend to be nice, and it wasn't something that he was used to. He preferred being horrible, but he knew that he had to try. It was in his best interest. "Apricot must be hungry," he called out as he lifted up another slice of toast. "Oh, yes, Mary," she'd almost forgotten. "Oh, dear," she said. It was her favourite phrase. "I'll just go into the garden and pick some dandelions. Apricot will be delighted," and he was. Apricot could tell that something had changed, but he didn't know what. All that he could see was that Alf was in a far happier, nicer mood than usual. In fact, he was looking at Apricot and smiling. Unfortunately, what Apricot didn't know was that Alf's eyes were shining with greed.